Greetings, students. My name is Ms. Vega, and I am your school librarian. At the beginning of this lesson, I introduced you to the Big Six research strategy, went over lesson objectives and standards, instructed you to take a pre-assessment, and asked you to watch 2 informational videos detailing the Big Six research model. Now that you are familiar with the Big Six research model, I will provide you with a summary of the steps and additional information for clarity. Each of you will need to refer to your handout so you can follow along with this presentation. The Big Six research model consists of 6 intricate steps, all designed to help you successfully complete a research project or assignment. The 6 steps are as follows. Number 1, task definition. Number 2, information seeking strategies. Number 3, location and access. Number 4, use of information. Number 5, synthesis. And number 6, evaluation. It is very important that you begin with the first step before proceeding to the next. An easy way to remember the 6 steps in the Big Six process is by remembering the phrase dig, use, which stands for define the task, inquire about the information, go to the resources, use relevant information, synthesize or assemble your product, and evaluate the assignment. The first step, task definition, requires you to answer a question or questions about your research project. A good way to begin this task is by answering some guiding questions. What is the question my research paper requires me to answer? What subject is this question referring to? What information will I need to answer the question? These are some good examples of task definition questions that can be found in your handout. These questions will help you decipher your research project. For the next step, information seeking strategies, you will need to determine what resources to use. The guiding questions in your handout that pertain to this step are as follows. What resources should I use? Which sources are the best for this subject or topic? It is important to remember that resources can be found in both print and electronic format. Consider using various resources such as books, database articles, reputable websites, and more. Step 3 in the Big Six research model, location and access, is all about finding and locating your sources. Think about where your sources are located and then obtain them. You may need to visit the library, order books from the online catalog, log into the databases to search for articles, and browse the internet for websites about the subject. For this step, make sure you ask yourself, where are the sources located? Where can I find the information in each source? These are the guiding questions that can be found in your handout. After you locate your sources, move on to step 4, use of information. This step will require you to extract information from your resources. Make sure you only record relevant information about your research subject. Take good notes, try and paraphrase the information you will use, and remember to cite your resources in order to avoid plagiarism. Some guiding questions on your handout for this step are as follows. How do I use this source? What information will be most useful or relevant? Step 5, synthesis, is perhaps the hardest because it requires you to assemble the information you found in your resources in a thoughtful, organized manner. You may need to use writing outlines or graphic organizers to ensure that your research paper flows fluently and is cohesive. In your handout, the following guiding questions will help you through the synthesis process. How do I organize all the information? How do I present the information? Make sure you check with your teacher before you select your format. The last step, evaluation, will ensure that your research project meets all the requirements. For this step, use the rubric that your teacher has provided or other evaluation criteria to check your work. Feel free to make improvements and changes as needed. 2 simple guiding questions in your handout for this last step are as follows. Did I answer the research question? How can I improve my work? If you need additional information, understanding and using the Big Six research model, your handout contains 5 resources and their corresponding links. The first resource, the Big Six Information Literacy Model, contains more detailed information about each of the 6 steps. The second and third resources, the Big Six and the Big Six Organizer, contain worksheets and organizers that you can use to help with the Big Six research process. The fourth resource, Mike Eisenberg Vodcast, is informational and features Mike Eisenberg, one of the creators of the Big Six research model. In this video, Eisenberg discusses information literacy and why it is important when conducting research. The last resource, Super 3, contains information about the simplified version of the Big Six. I hope this lesson can assist you in the future and that your next research project will become easier to complete now that you know about the Big Six research model.